It is exactly 9 p.m. on this 24th day of January 2024, on a day that Nakuru Senator, that is Tabitha Karanja, has threatened to move a motion to impeach, rather has threatened to push for a motion to impeach, that is Governor Susan Kihika, over what she says is mismanagement of the health sector. Karanja, of course, called on members of County Assembly to do their oversight role, and of course the impeachment of the governor has to come from the County Assembly, which means she's indirectly calling on members of County Assembly to impeach Governor Susan Kihika. Of course, these all wrangles, or rather impeachment calls, comes from, or rather stems from the ongoing wrangles in the War Memorial Hospital that county officials are accused of storming into that particular hospital and chasing away staff. Now, that particular story has elicited mixed reactions across the country. That is one of our main stories tonight, among other stories, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Remember, you can watch this particular bulletin live on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Lookuptv. At this moment in time, let's have a look at what's making headlines tonight.
Tonight on The Insight, 9 former and current KRA officials charged with 62 million shillings tender fraud.
So they are the ones now we should look at those allegations, those conducts, and ensure that now they do that impeachment motion.
Nakuru Senator Tabitha Karanja calls for the impeachment of Governor Susan Kihika over War Memorial Hospital dispute.
Bado tumebaki na miaka 4 mpaka uchaguzi mwingine. Mambo ya kuanza campaign mapema ni kitu mbaya.
And Azimio leader Raila Odinga warns leaders against early campaigns, saying it will delay development.
Now, welcome to the program. I am Ian Keitani, and our sign language interpreter is Josephine Elko. We start our bulletin now, and 9 officials from the Kenya Ports Authority have been arraigned over fraud allegations involving a tender worth 62 million shillings. The 9 who were arrested today denied the 10 charges leveled against them and were released on a 2 million shillings bail. John Matava opens our bulletin tonight.
9 officials from the Kenya Ports Authority, KPA, have been brought before the Mombasa court on allegations of involvement in corruption related to a contract worth 62 million Kenyan shillings.
The first accused, that is Robert Bosubel, appears in 8 of the 10 counts. The third accused person, Id Arube Nanyang, in 4 of the counts. Or the second, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th accused persons are facing 1 count each.
The accused, including Yobe Shoyaro, David Angwenyi, Nora Mugambi, Adhanasa Wambari, Robert Bosuben, Azanath Kwamboka Mageto, Rose Cherotich, Id Arube Nanyang, and David Arika were arrested by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and appeared before the Chief Magistrate Alex Iduku this morning to face 10 charges, which they denied.
They pleaded not guilty, of course. Bond in this case has not been opposed by the state. It's also a right. The only right that was that it be reasonable and commensurate to the charges. I've looked at all the counts. I've also considered the law and the policy on the issue of bond.
The charges include wastage of public property, money laundering, fraudulent contract acquisition, and falsification of documents through deceitful means.
For the first, second, and 4th accused persons, the terms are they will be released on bond at Kenya shillings 2 million. That is a bond of 2 million shillings with 1 surety of similar amount each. In the alternative, each of the accused persons will pay cash bail in the sum of Kenya shillings 500,000.
John Matava, Lookuptv.
Thank you very much, John Matava, for that particular story. Moving forward, Nakuru Senator Tabitha Karanja has called for the impeachment of Governor Susan Kihika over the War Memorial Hospital saga that has left health services in the facility paralyzed. The senator challenged members of County Assembly to take up their oversight role, noting that there were enough grounds to impeach the UDA governor as the hospital dispute deepened. This came hours after a patient who was undergoing treatment at the facility died on Wednesday morning as the county government was accused of ignoring court orders.
The governor now is the work of the MCAs. Yes, because the MCAs were elected by the people to ensure they're in the first line of the oversight. And actually the senator comes number 2. They are the first line of the oversight. So they are the ones that now we should look at those allegations, those conducts, and ensure that now they do that impeachment or whatever motion. And I'm sure the Nakuru people will support. You can imagine how much we've suffered for 1 year. What about now the rest of the 4 years remaining? I think Nakuru will be gone by then. So we need now to act and ensure that things go the right way. So the MCAs will do their part and ensure that the governor does her work the way it's supposed to be done. Instead of the governor implementing any serious plans she may have for the War Memorial facility, if there is any genuineness and seriousness for work, she goes on to close War Memorial Hospital, the only hospital which means international standards, equivalent to the Nairobi Hospital and the Arakan Hospital. We sincerely sympathize with the patients and their next of kin, doctors, and the workers and the investors. We pray that God gives them endurance and power to overcome. Sadly, a lot of people have died since 28 October 2023 following the disruption of War Memorial Hospital by the county government led by Her Excellency Susan Kihika. Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihika took office. She has been undermining other elected leaders and calling them names in front of the people who elected them. She has been undermining our efforts and especially my oversight role. I thought she would appreciate the senator's role. She was since she was my predecessor, but instead she's rubbishing my role day in, day out.
Remember, all this saga emanates from a land tussle that is a 25-acre piece of land that the War Memorial Hospital sits on. We'll continue to follow up on that particular story, just to give you updates on what is happening in Nakuru County. On to the political front now, and Azimio leader Raila Odinga has told ODM members who have started early campaigns. He further urged party members to stop criticizing elected leaders and give them time to deliver to Kenyans. Odinga was speaking to ODM delegates in Malindi, Kilifi County, where thousands joined the party, ditching RUTO's UDA party and Kingi's PAA.
As succession politics continue to take center stage in the country, barely 3.5 years to the general election, just a day after President William Ruto cautioned leaders against early campaigns, Azimio leader Raila Odinga has today slammed elected leaders engaging in politics, calling them to prioritize service delivery.
Hii mambo ya kuanza mambo ya campaign mapema. Campaign ya mapema. Tumetoka kwa uchaguzi juzi. Sasa bado tu uchaguzi ambao inakuja ni in 2027. Bado tumebaki na miaka 4 mpaka uchaguzi mwingine. Mambo ya kuanza campaign mapema ni kitu mbaya. Wanaki nagawanya chama.
Speaking during an ODM registration drive in Kilifi County, Odinga rubbished the talks between President Ruto and Chief Justice Martha Koome, while calling on President Ruto to fight corruption within his administration before questioning the judiciary.
Hii mambo ambayo inaendelea ya serikali kuu kutisha mahakama. Ati mahakama mpaka ifanye vile inavyotaka. Wanasema ati kuna ufisadi ndani ya mahakama. Kuna ufisadi kubwa zaidi ndani ya serikali kuu. Na inajulikana. Hakuna chochote ambacho wamefanya huku. Sasa wanafanya mkutano ya kisiri kwenye ikulu. Nimesema hii ni udanganyifu.
Odinga also took issue with the National Assembly over what he termed as being held hostage by the executive, questioning why the August House would pass bills from the executive without proper scrutiny.
imekuwa captive. Wabunge wanapitisha kila kitu ambayo inatoka kwa ikulu. Hakuna chochote ambayo inabadilishwa huko. There's no debate in the current parliament. Bills come from wherever they come, and they come into parliament. The speaker decree that they must be passed within the next 2 hours. There's no debate. You cannot discuss a bill within 2 hours.
Ian Keitane, Lookuptv.
Moving forward, the government has assured prison staff of support as they execute their mandate. Speaking after the closure of a 3-day wellness workshop in Ruiru Prison Staff Training College, PS Correctional Services Dr. Salome Biako noted that mental health among the correctional staff is a top priority. Stanley Ligaria now reports.
A 3-day mental health wellness workshop on staff and inmate well-being was launched at Prison Staff Training College in Ruiru on Wednesday to boost efficiency and performance amongst prison staff.
And nobody thinks that our budgets can be considered as a cost of last resort. Are we in agreement with that? I am discussing this with the top echelon of the State Department. The top echelon. It is you who are decision makers. If you support the three of us, the sky is the limit.
Graced by PS State Department Correctional Services Dr. Salome Biko and Commissioner General Prisons Brigadier Retired John Warioba, the workshop presented first-hand information obtained from police officers through their regional and national senior leadership of correctional services on wellness to help realize emerging issues as well as matters related to probationers and aftercare services.
We were able to look at the state of mental wellness within the facilities that we have. And Madam PS, that's when you moved the idea of this workshop, that we need to look at what we discussed then and put them into action.
He told us that mental wellness has several dimensions. There is occupational, there is financial, and you assist me when I forget one. There is emotional, there is spiritual, there is financial, there is intellectual, social, environment.
Of the department in addressing mental health cases. I wish to convey my special thanks and appreciation to the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, U.S. Embassy, Nairobi, for your continued support and for organizing this workshop to support the senior managers of the Department of Correctional Services in addressing the challenges of mental health.
The workshop, organized by the Bureau of Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs International in conjunction with the State Department for Correctional Services, intends to achieve well-being amongst the prison staff.
Being here and participating and supporting this workshop in my career, as again, it's a great honor to be able to share with fellow correctional professionals and share with each other's knowledge in these types of issues.
I know this is not easy for Richard because he literally does cover half of the world. So I'm really grateful and thankful that he was able to make some time to come to Kenya for us. 2 days is super fast, but it went by really well. And I'm so glad everyone was so productive and engaging. So I want to also thank you all for giving your 100% in this workshop.
Therefore, in the event that the Commissioner General is developing some mental problems, they will come to my aid. They will use the knowledge that they will have gained from this workshop to attend to me. That is my happiness.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Well, that story by Stanley Ligaria takes us to a fast breather. We'll be back in a moment with more stories on this particular bulletin. Don't go away.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya, lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time, hata angalia barabara. Mseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe, mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Let's continue with our bulletin now, and the family of Sami Kiratu in Dandora, Nairobi, is appealing for justice in what they term as inhumane treatment by police after he was discharged from Mama Lucy Hospital before treatment. Sami had been admitted with a bullet in his pelvic, which he sustained from a confrontation with a police officer who accused him of threatening his second wife and was set for surgery in the facility. The family wants their kin to be allowed to seek treatment as he is not in stable condition.
Early morning at Mama Lucy Hospital, irate family members and friends of Sami Kiratu, a patient who had been admitted in the hospital with a bullet in his pelvic area, had questions on how the situation of the patient was handled.
Amekuwa booked, namba iko ya theater hapo booked, then asubuhi imefika theater imekuwa imesimamishwa.
The angry locals converged at the facility to stop police from discharging Sami, who had been scheduled for a surgery that was cancelled without any explanation to the family.
Sasa sisi tuliitiwa kama ako amelazwa hosi, sisi tukakuja tukapata alishutiwa Sunday usiku, Saturday usiku ikikucha asubuhi. Sasa tukaambiwa ameletwa huku ndio aweze kutolewa bullet. Tukakaa kutoka hiyo Sunday tukakuja tukaambiwa tumpeleke x-ray, tulete CT scan, na tukaenda tukalipa na tukaleta. Kuleta ikasemekana result haitatoka hiyo siku, itatoka on Monday. Sisi tukagojea Monday. Na wakati tulikuwa tunatoka tulikuwa tumeambiwa anaweza tolewa hata usiku. Asubuhi tu tutapata ametolewa, ati daktari atapatikana usiku.
On Friday 19th of January, Sami is said to have been in a club when a civilian police officer went to arrest him over threatening to kill his second wife, accusations that have not been confirmed yet. The confrontation thereafter left Sami the bullet in his pelvic area.
Huyu kijana anafanya kazi ya Uber, ya taxi. Na simu hizi hana rekodi ya wizi hata moja. Sisi tunajua ni mzuri. Kama kuna makosa ingine ile sisi hatujui, iko, hatuwezi kusema ana makosa, kwa sababu kama ana makosa mengine ya kando hatuwezi kujua. Tunataka akitoka hapa awe ametibiwa, asiende na risasi kwa station. Sababu akienda na risasi kwa station, anaenda kufanya nini? Atalala namna gani? Atalala wapi?
According to Cecilia Nyambura, the sister to Sami, the brother is not in a stable condition and therefore needs to be treated.
Huyu mtu anarudishwa cell na ako na risasi kwa mguu. Atakuwa analetwa aje nini na huko atakaa aje, na hata kutembea hawezi tembea, hata kumtoa walikuwa wamesukuma gari wamtoe hiyo kitanda, wamtoe na kitanda wamweke kwa gari.
However, according to OCPD for Buruburu Francis Ngugi Kamau, who refused to give his remarks on camera, the taxi driver has a case to answer at Makadara Law Courts, in which he not only threatened his wife but also assaulted a police officer on duty. The unclear circumstances under which Sami was discharged from the hospital with a bullet in his body for more than 3 days leaves a question of where is humanity. Beatrice Ilavonga, Lookuptv.
Now, the government and stakeholders in the education sector are alarmed with the high number of students in northern Kenya province who failed to report to Form 1 and junior secondary schools in the just concluded Form 1 transition period. Over 4,000 students are reported to have failed to report to their respective schools with scanty information on their whereabouts. Henry Tende with more.
As the curtain falls on the Form 1 reporting exercise across the country, government officials and education stakeholders in northeastern Kenya are a worried lot. This after statistics revealed over 4,000 students have failed to take up their positions in various secondary schools and their whereabouts unknown.
We cannot have a situation where over 40% of those who are supposed to be in grade 7 are still at home. About close to 18% in the region of those who are supposed to be in Form 1 are still at home.
Figures into the 3 counties of Garissa, Wajir and Mandera depict a sorry state of an education sector that needs radical reforms. Of the 26,926 students who were expected to report to various secondary schools, only 22,462 have reported to their respective schools. Questions now abound on the whereabouts of 4,464 students yet to report, with scanty information of what might have happened to them.
We are going to start or launch a mop-up exercise to make sure that all the students, all the pupils who are still at home go to school.
Garissa County is the most affected. Of the 10,120 students who sat for the KCPE exams and were expected to join high school, only 6,491 have reported, with 3,629 unaccounted for.
Each and every chief and assistant chief will be providing a daily data on the number of pupils and students who have been mopped up and have been taken to school, so that within 1 week we can be able to achieve 100% transition.
The information also indicates only 83.4% of students have transitioned to junior secondary.
No reason whatsoever that would make a child not to go to school. The government has provided the capitation to schools, and the regional director is here, will confirm that. So we don't want to hear stories that there are certain levies, unofficial levies, being demanded by the respective schools that deter the children to go to school.
With the government insistent on 100% transition, the education stakeholders agree there is an urgent need to address reasons that have affected the said students. Henry Tendanyula, Lookuptv.
It is a very critical issue to look at, because if at all we're talking about 100% transition, then we must ensure all students are able to transition to the next level of education. And even after Form 4, we need to ensure that we get to know what happened to those students and where are they. Now, residents of Kiandundu village in Manyata, Embu County, have now seen the light for the first time after a power installation exercise by Kenya Kwanza and Kenya Power and Lighting Company. As Faith Charles now reports, the locals are enthusiastic to the thought of using a switch to light their homes.
Kiandundu village, Embu County, was filled with utter darkness, save for the sun during the day and the moon and the stars at night. However, their fate has changed after power was installed. An excited area MP Gitonga Mukunji was pleased to fulfill his campaign promises.
Tembea nikiwaambia kwamba na wakaniambia among the things wangetaka niwafanyie ni kuwaletea stima. Na niko hapa leo kutimiza ahadi yangu nilitengeneza katika siasa. Hii uwanja hapa nilikuwa na nikaomba hawa watu wanipe nafasi. Na nimefurahia sana leo katika hii delivery ya stima ambayo tumeweza kuisukuma kwa muda mrefu, ya kwamba sasa tutaweza kupata nafasi ya kuwekea hawa watu stima, na tumeacha watu wa Kenya Power sasa wakiendeleza mahali, kuangalia mahali vikingi zitakuwa, kuangalia wayleave, kuangalia vile watu watapata stima na watu wanaendelea kujiregister. Ningeomba tukiendelea mbele, serikali ya Dr. William Samoei Ruto iangalie vile tutaweza kupata bei rahisi ya stima, ili hawa watu na wengine Kenya mzima waweza kupata nafasi ya kutengeneza kitu na ibaki kwa mfuko.
Kidhimu Ward MCA Julius Karuri pointed out the need of Kenya Power officials to address emerging concerns on the health risks associated with working in poor lighting conditions during the night by the locals.
Ukiwa stima wamenena challenge zao stima na benefit ile itakuja na stima ile tu. Nitaomba contractor mwenye tumeletoa na mheshimiwa achangamke kulingana na vile amesikia ile agency iko hapa, ndio at least atufanyie hiyo kazi, watoto wetu waweze kusoma vizuri, kufanya homework vizuri, tupunguze shida za macho juu hii taa inakuja na so many challenges za watoto wa macho.
Lakini sisi kutoka hapa tunaingia mashinani kusema sasa kikingi kitawekwa hapa, kitawekwa pale Turangoma itawekwa hapa. Leo hii tunaanza hiyo. Sasa na nyinyi ndio unasikia nikisema tutahitaji kuongea na nyinyi kidogo. Kuna mambo ya wewe tumeheshimiwa, lazima tujue shamba ni la nani, manake tutakanyaga mashamba kidogo, na hiyo nilikuwa na avoid kusema hiyo nisiingie, manake nikianza hiyo itachukua muda na itaweza haribu program, hiyo itakuja baadaye.
The residents were not left behind to illustrate the excitement.
Mambo ya stima tunaitaka sana, tulikuwa tunashinda mingi huku kijijini. Haya, mambo ya security, kama hakuna stima hatungeweza kuwa nayo. Sasa na kama stima sitakuja, tutakuwa waangalifu, kuweka kinyozi, salon na kuchunga kuku. Mambo mingi sana inatakikana stima.
Nimefurahi na Mkoji juu ametuletea stima. Sasa hii Kiandundu itakuwa town. Tumejenga majumba lakini haina watu. Sasa tunaona watu watakuja juu stima imeingia.
Faith Charles, Lookuptv.
Now, the third edition of Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Tour is set to take place on the 3rd of February in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. The gold level tour has already attracted over 500 athletes from 17 countries that have so far confirmed their participation as preparations kickstart in Eldoret. 15 million shillings prize money has been injected in the competition for different categories, as 400,000 shillings has been set aside for top 20 athletes living with disabilities.
Eritrea, we have Ethiopia, we have Tanzania, who are going to be there, and also one from South Africa. Then from outside Africa, we'll be having athletes from Germany. We have also from Great Britain, Belgium, we have from Italy, and then of course quite a number of them have come from Poland. And then we have now athletes who are training in return from the US, confirming that they are also going to compete. So this time around we have more athletes than last year. Foreign athletes are competing, and you know the rules are the total prize money for this year is 15 million. This is the highest so far, and of course now we are paying, especially the international events like the senior men and women under 20, men and women also will be paid in dollars. because of the fluctuations in the shilling, so that it matches with the standards given by World Athletics. Although ours is higher than the others, we will still pay in dollars to ensure that it is standard.
Susan, that you are ready to support.
Now, African-based team, according to FIFA rankings, that is Morocco, will battle it out against the 2012 champions Chipolo Polo of Zambia in a fight to qualify for the round of 16. Chipolo Polo will miss the services of their captain Rodrick Kabwe, who was given a red card in the last match against Tanzania that ended in a 1-1 draw. In another Group F encounter, double African Cup of Nations champions, the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo, will face off with Taifa Stars from Tanzania. The two matches will kick off at 11 p.m. And just as a wrap-up, just so you know, as it stands, Tunisia, one of the footballing powers in Africa, are also going home. As it stands, they are in a barren draw with Namibia. And of course, Mali and South Africa will qualify in that group, while Tunisia will be left at 4th. That means they will be following Algeria as they go home. Now, that is all that we had for you tonight. Thank you very much for making time to be with us tonight. Until tomorrow, do have yourself a lovely evening. And like always, God bless.